So after what seems like forever, you finally found that perfect home and you can't wait to buy it. But when you sit down with your agent and they ask you, how much do you want to offer? Do you know how to respond? Hello, I'm Jesse Nicholas, your real estate agent helping you to buy, protect, and sell your home. Today's video topic is all about how much you offer when you're crafting the first offer on the house that you want to buy. This is super important because that first offer is a reflection of you to that seller. If you come in 20% under the price, they might not take you seriously and the deal will be dead before you even get started. The first thing your agent should show you are comps or comparables. What this is really is just looking at homes that are similar to your target home in the same neighborhood, looking at the sales of those for the past 3, maybe 6 months or so. This can give you a good idea if the seller is asking too much, asking too little, or asking just right and trying to buy your home. Your agent should take the time to explain to you the small differences in between all these homes, because not all the homes are the same, obviously. Things like number of bedrooms, fireplaces, yard size, yard view, things like this will affect the price in little ways, but generally you can get a really good idea on what that target home should be worth when making your offer. You also need to look at DOM, or days on market. If a home has only been on the market for a week, you may not have a lot of time to act if the price is a good price. However, if the home has been on the market for 3 months, this will be a good opportunity to find out why that's the case. Is the price just too high? Is there something wrong with the home? Your agent can talk with the other agent and try to figure out what that is. As a buyer, you may be able to use this to your advantage when it comes to negotiations. Usually when a home has been on the market for a long period of time, there's 2 types of sellers at that point. The first type of seller is someone who just needs to unload the property as fast as they can, and they're willing to entertain almost any offer and work with it and get the job done. And then you get the other sellers who are just so stingy and bitter and angry that their home hasn't sold yet, that they're going to cling to that price as hard as they can. Obviously, that second type of seller can be difficult to work with. Another important number to look at when you're looking at the comparables in the neighborhood is the sales price to list price ratio. Essentially what this is if a home is listed at $100,000, but it ended up selling at $95,000, then that sales price to list price ratio is 95%. The higher this number is can be a good indicator of how quickly homes are moving and how close to value they're selling for. If most of them have a ratio of 98 to 98.5%, chances are, if the home was priced correctly, it's going to fly out the market pretty darn quick and for the price they're asking for. All this information and numbers are indicative of what kind of offer you should present. If the target home that you're looking at appears to be priced really well and really close to what the actual value is, then the offer you should present probably is somewhere close to that. You want a strong offer to compete against any other buyers that are coming in, and you want to beat them out, obviously. So don't try to undercut just because your grandfather told you that you always go 10% under the asking price when he bought his house 40 years ago. That type of strategy won't work in this scenario because you won't be taken seriously as a buyer, because you'll be looked at as just trying to get the home as cheap as you can and not seeing it for the value that it really truly is. Also, what is the seller's motivation? Why are they selling their home? Did they just move out of state into a new job and they need to get rid of this place as fast as possible because they don't want to carry these 2 mortgages any longer? Or is it someone who has lived in the home for years and they have memories there and they don't have to leave, but they could probably downsize a little bit if they wanted to, and you know what, let's just put it on the market and see what we get. That second type of seller is going to be a little more difficult to deal with, and they may not negotiate quite as well because there's too many memories attached for them, and they're putting a value on those memories that you, as a buyer, don't care about and don't want to pay for. That first type of seller is great to work with because they need to sell their home, and they don't want to get gypped on the price, but they may be a little more flexible when it comes to taking a lower offer. Equally as important, what is your buyer competition? This actually may be more important than the seller motivation. Right now, it's the summer of 2018, and in my market, homes are selling like crazy and for a lot higher than they were even just a year ago. This definitely means we're in a seller's market here, which means there aren't enough homes on the market to satisfy the saturation of buyers in the market wanting to buy. Buyers have less spending power and are willing to spend more for less of a house than they were just 5 years ago. You need to be cognizant of all the other buyers in the area and how much they're probably going to offer and how quick they're going to offer it. You need to come in fast and strong if you want to secure that before someone else comes in and swoops it up. And if it's a buyer's market, then most likely that seller is going to have to sacrifice a little bit of the price that they want to sell it for in order to get it sold properly. A buyer's market means there are a lot more homes than there are buyers. And if a buyer ends up not getting your home because you're asking too much, they're going to go down the street and get another one. The last thing you need to consider is how much do you really, truly want that home? Are you willing to go above asking price just to get it? Are you going to pay your own closing costs in order to secure it? If you get into a multiple offer scenario, how high are you willing to go to get that home? You need to figure this out before you actually start to put the offer in, because you don't want to let emotions run you at the end of it and just come up with a number at the end just to get the house. I have one more thing for you to consider. Too many people out there think of negotiation as a competition, and negotiating is not a competition. Negotiating is a tool for all parties involved to get what they want. When you bring home buying and selling to its most basic core, its basic functions, someone has a house that they want to sell. Someone else has money and they want to buy a house. It really is that simple. Someone wants to get rid of a house, someone wants to buy it, and that person wants to buy your house. So let's get the deal working. Instead of trying to get a bigger piece of the pie, as it were, try to work together so that each person gets a bigger pie altogether. I know how cheesy that sounds, but it's true. Most negotiations turn out so much better for each person involved if they both work together. Too often in these situations, a seller just tries to keep as much money as possible, and a buyer tries to spend as little money as possible, and both of them get angry with each other and tempers rise. Instead, each party should be looking towards selling and buying the home at a fair value. The deal gets done a lot faster and everyone walks away happy. But hey, that's just my 2 cents on the matter. I want to know what you think. Leave your thoughts and feedback in the comments below. Drop me a rating. Don't forget to share the video. Please think of subscribing if you're new here. I put out these videos weekly, and I hope to increase that number in the future. So subscribing is a great way for you to know when I put out new content. My name is Jesse Nicholas, your real estate agent, helping you to buy, protect, and sell your home. I'll see you on the next one. Negotiating is not a competition. Negotiating is a tool. Oh, crap. Negotiating is not a competition. Negotiation is a tool for all parties involved to get what all they want. Negotiation is a tool for all parties involved to get what they want. And negotiating is not a competition. Negotiating